Hey, we have Merlin. We took it over, I think, the Celestial Tiger, and we grabbed Cinderella because they both pay us off for doing the same thing. So we're sort of interested in going that route. Here, I don't love these really, but because we have the one evil character and we have a Witch's Brew, we do have the opportunity to cast a spell, which I think overall will give us the best chance to actually want to fight. Buffing this is probably the better thing because giving more. Merlin hasn't sort of an unbalanced buff, it's more attack than health. And buffing something that is more health than attack helps balance out the stats. And balanced stats are pretty good early on. Well, that was a convenient hit right there, actually. So we'll win some fights. I really think we want to grab two spells. I'm going to cast this and just see what these two are. Eeny meany's fine. So now we can grab one of these, and I think we'd grab Cat. Cat is obviously very good right here. Or we can roll and hope to get like a cut purse or range character. I think we'll take the Cat and we can roll and see if there's anything interesting. Familiar is, a little bit interesting. Again, it has a similar thing to Cinderella, where it's paying us off for the same thing as the Merlin. So it just makes us want, makes us more interested. I wonder if this is actually better right here, right? 4-6 is probably better than 7-3, I think. I think it can take more hits. Well, that was an unfortunate attack. I think we'll win this just because their front row will just trade with our front row. Tripling a tiny is kind of... the problem with tripling a tiny, obviously, is you have to buy 3 tinies. So, I think it's obvious we're going to grab the Spellweaver. So if we cast Shrink Spell, that's 2 gold. Basically, casting Shrink Spell means that we can buy one of these other dwarfs, I guess. And if we buy this first, yeah, we're going to do this, right? The unfortunate part is we don't get this buff by casting this. The problem is we don't want to buy any of these other 3 next turn, so we're not going to pause. So we're going to have to cast Shrink Spell here. Next time we choose a treasure, get a high level. None of these look great here, so then we grab this thing. And I think we can't afford this. Could grab this. Which one of these is better? This just trades into things. We'll grab it. Can we do this? Yeah, this seems a little more balanced. We want it to be, so we want to make things so they can conceivably, survive a hit. If they can survive a hit, that means we can get 2 hits off. Wow, this is a tough one. Wow, we really need to take this thing down. Oh, we got lucky and do. So unlike most supports, we actually do have a reasonably strong backline. Usually if you have a support-heavy backline, these will just be like 0-3s, and once your front line goes down, you lose. Yeah, unfortunately none of these do much for us. I think we will just roll. I do like the Woggle here, because we might be able to transform it. Oh, if we had any monsters, I'd be so excited about that. Nothing good here. Let's see if we can get something that we can cast this on. Oh, I kind of like some of these other characters as well. I like the cat. We could sell the tiny. Casting a spell does give us a big buff. You know what? Let's not worry about the cat. Let's just buff this. It's going to get a lot of attack. Giving it a little more health is good. And I think here it might be worth it to try to get this to flip. Early enough that the level 4 is a little ahead of curve. After this, I think we'll try to, if we don't get it now, we'll wait till we hit level 4 and try to get a 5. That's sort of a standard thing that I do. I try to get this to flip when we're far away from the level range. As we get closer, I take it off. And we do get the flip. Oh, we actually get the value trade because of a 2-7. Wow. It looks like we should win this unless this gets way bigger than I'm expecting, right? Yeah, no, we're going to win this pretty easily. We have a pretty big board so far. We've got very lucky. Huh, this is interesting. It's not particularly I don't say it's bad. It doesn't seem particularly good, but it does buff the Cinderella, which we have. So we'll give us some buff early. I think we'll grab another one. We're just looking for 3-drops, and none of the 3-drops are particularly exciting. We'll grab another cat. We could cast Shrink Spell and Cat, which is interesting-ish. We do want to cast a spell to get the buffs. Yeah, we'll do that, right? It just gives us a chance to get an upgrade, and we'll wait till this hits the next level and swap things out. Oh, we don't need this to trigger anymore, so we can throw it back. So this is going to buff the Cinderella +2/+2, which isn't super exciting. But if we get like a Lancelot, it'd be nice to have something to buff it. But it only happens once it flips, and once Lancelot flips, you're sort of golden anyways. Works with like Nutcracker. We could throw a Nutcracker here on level 4 if we wanted. Next turn, we'll probably throw this back in and try to get the little cheese. We just got this because, you know, we could conceivably get a triple at some point. We're not going to pause here because even at reduced cost, even if these all cost, you know, whatever, nothing, or, you know, effectively nothing, you know, we wouldn't be interested in them, you know, except for selling them back for gold. Okay, they got their trigger. Okay, we're getting some good value trades. I don't think they have a jewel yet, right? Yeah, they're not 4, so we'll win this pretty easily. We've been really strong early game. I mean, obviously, until you can find. I think we might just cast a spell, right? Do we want these 2 things, or are those not exciting to us? I think they're not exciting. Let's cast the spell. Actually, hitting this is really nice because now that we cast a spell, it becomes an issue if we want to change. Oh, that'd be interesting too, since we're so strong. I wonder if there's anything here we can grab. I'm going to put this up front, and we'll put this. Goes like this. Can we grab any? Oh, we can grab this for this round only and throw it here. It's not like this. It'll buff everything. And so we've been winning so far, and this is very strong if we're going to win. So we do get the flip there. And, you know, we get a ranged attack off. Everything gets a little buffed. We're probably going to sub this out. We really just got it because we have the falling stars. But we are getting a bunch of nice buffs, actually. Knock them down to 2. They're having a tough game. Okay, that's not the best 5. But yeah, let's buy this thing. And we do want to get these things off. You don't generally want these things on board. It's another interesting one. Oh, we have a lot of sleighs. Here's an interesting thing. How do we get that? I mean, maybe we don't go dwarfs. That's possible. I think we're going to sell this. And we'll sell the dwarf. Just grab a second author. It will buff this. And is getting a health... No, we're going to hit 5, so we're not going to wait for the health. Otherwise, we might think about it. So it looks like we probably won't go dwarf, so maybe those were not great buys. Maybe this wasn't a great buy, but we did want to stay on the Wish Upon a Star. And I thought we might take the chance on this if we see some more dwarfs. You know, I obviously go dwarfs more than I probably should, but... you know, we're reaching the point where people could be turning a corner in terms of, you know, their comps, so a sort of scattered comp just of big stats might run into issues here. You know, we've been getting by a lot on just the Merlin spellcast, but we hope it lasts one more round because, you know, we have the Wish Upon a Star thing. So that's a tough one for us, obviously. Yeah, it looks like they have a pretty big board. Yeah, we're gonna lose this one actually. They also have some nice big these big adventurers too. Okay, yeah, this gives us a dwarf, but not. So we don't want. So I don't think we buy chickens here because you end up stuck with them a lot. Okay, I like spell casts. I think I'm gonna cast this. We could try to get a 6 here. I don't know how I feel about that exactly. Especially when there's more stuff we could be looking for. Yeah, we find it. I wonder if we're off of these authors yet? We offer these supports. What do these do? I mean, the authors are interesting because they combo. Right? We could be off of one of the supports. In this. We'll sell this, and we'll sell, I guess, the health. Yeah, we'll sell the health here, and we'll grab this. We'll probably weaker this fight, but we'll be stronger in, you know, subsequent fights. It doesn't seem like these we need to get rid of these pretty quickly. Because we're at the point where here everyone's gonna start passing us in power if we don't. Oh, if these people are still at 4, but this person already got to 6. Yeah, they have a really cool comp. It doesn't scale super well because it's princes, and they don't scale super well. I mean, that's sort of one of the things we saw too. But they're already at 6, so they can hard transition before everyone else gets there, and they might be in really nice shape. So we'll see what happens. We have 2 spell casts. I keep being surprised. I feel like the board should be a little bigger. We took out the fairy godmother before anything else. Would be nice to hit that thing, obviously. It looks like our board's just a little bit bigger than theirs. Well, they did get to take out a whole front line, though, so... they have a lot of treasures, compared to us, at least. We just don't have very many, I think is the issue. Okay, let's grab these. I might grab a second one, honestly. Wow, and Biggin? That's really interesting. I think I'm going to grab this because it allows us to grab a 16/16 one of these and flip it into a 6-drop. And I think I'm ready to sell 2 of these things and grab another book. And our plan is just to go, you know, wild with book things. This is really interesting. This is... We didn't get it early. Maybe it's not a good decision here, honestly, but if we can find some more spell weavers, that'd be great. Polywoggle's getting +15/+15, great. You know, and maybe we'll go into that type of comp. There's not a lot of 3s we want, but the other ones were what? Round Table and Achilles. Achilles is interesting, but I saw the Polywoggle, so I think I leaned heavily into this. Even if it gives one of our things 15/15, it's pretty reasonable. And if we end up getting a couple spell weavers, it becomes very good. You know, if we triple this, but it has +30/+30, I mean, a very big range character we've seen with Shadow Assassins in the past can really get you there. So only one person at 6 still. We've gained, I think, 1 extra XP, so we're not rushing to 6 either. Okay, there's a decent chance this flips as long as we don't hit this thing. We do get it. So we'll see what that 6-drop is next turn. We'll win this fight. Not by too much. And we'll see what the 15/15. Okay, that's a spell. But not a spell, that's a character. You know, words elude me. So this is interesting. If we had more mages, we'd definitely go for that. We don't have more mages, so I don't think we will. Okay, we'll keep casting coins. It buffs this every time, and it, you know, throws a random buff around. It'd be nice if those buffs hit things we wanted. Grab another book. And it's not clear what we're looking for in particular. I think here we might just test the spell. Is that worth it? Throw these up front, and when these die, you know, summon more things down here. You know, we're seeing a lot of big low drops that we could just, replace some of our higher drops with, but we really want to see some spell weavers is basically what we're for. Unfortunately, this isn't evil anymore, so I won't trigger one of these, but we'll have enough of these. And let's put these all up front. We want these to all die before this. We want to get rid of this soon. Actually, in this surviving, if we happen to win a fight with our back row surviving, we'd rather do an extra 2 damage. So, I think that's the situation. And, hopefully we'll grab another 5. We have a 5 treasure. If we find either one of those. We haven't really had a lot of triples this game. We got something out of this. Oh, we just got a rune stone, which helped us get this when we tripled the books. So we've, got 2 treasures, but we ended up with 1. And this only gave basically the pumpkin plus 15 plus 15 so far, but it can do more. And we'd love for this buff to hit this. Anything but these, really. The tiger and the princess. Hit the tiger. Huh. One of those things. Good hit for us here. And we got to take out the back line. Oh, that was a tough one for us to hit. This surviving, though, is nice. Got some more books if we can get them. Oh, we should win this easily, right? You would think. You would think with, And yeah, since this survived, we actually did do extra damage. I'm not sure it's relevant, but it did happen in real life. And here we are, right? 2 of these. I think that will make this pretty big. Yeah, 41 on Crystal Ball. That means if we cast some spells, we can really go off. It's only targeted spells, but I wonder if we don't have enough for this. We could sell 2 things. We could just cast Kidnap. Casting a spell on something would be nice. We could level books. We want this. Oh, interesting. We want this, but we also want this. We can't sell 3 things for it. So, I guess we're just pausing here. Next time we're going to buy this, replace the Cinderella. Then we're going to cast, this spell. And if we find some targeted spells, we'll cast a few more. And we're just going to try to pump this Spell Weaver as much as we can. And, if we ever find a Storm King, it should be pretty big, because we're casting a ton of spells. It's difficult to see how many spells we've cast. I wish there was like a counter, like on the Merlin or something. Because I think we got plus 30 off this. And we mostly want to measure its attack, so it wouldn't normally be a 2-2. It looks like we've cast like 12 spells? Since we've got this. So I guess we cast by 15 total. It kind of seems on the low side, honestly, but... and that means that's not even counting if this got hit with the Merlin buff. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like... I thought I would have guessed higher, but... it's possible I'm wrong about that. But, we'll cast 4 this fight at least. Yeah, and see, this princess comp just doesn't scale super well. Grab this. We're gonna sell this. We don't want to hit buffs on things. Ooh, this would be interesting on that. So anytime we target something, we get to cast a new spell. We'll just cast this, cast 2. We can't cast another spell this turn. Wow, book, okay. We're gonna pause here and grab the second book next turn. This person was very, very strong when we fought them. You always have a chance when you have books, because you can just hit a lot of polymorphs. Same with Pumpkin Kings, because you get Medusas and Apple Trees. But I'd say we are sort of an underdog here. Just, in terms of expectation of winning, because what we saw was so strong out of them last time. I wonder if we actually want this further up, because we'd prefer this be dead when all the spell casting goes off. You know what, we'd rather spell... So spells aren't necessarily good at finishing things off, but they are good at weakening them. So casting them early, and, if you can hit their supports with some of the damage ones in the back, casting them early is better. So I think you do want to front load your spell casts. I'm not sure if that's correct. I mean, I could be doing this wrong. That's always the case. I could always be doing it wrong, so don't you'll never be surprised if I'm doing that. So this person is playing the clone, so one of us two will get to do it next turn. Well, so they went to a heavy good comp now. So the issue we're going to have is this ranged character. They're all going to be very strong. Okay, this ranged character, actually. This is going to kill something every time it attacks. Okay, so we spawned a couple Medusas, which is very nice. Though they're not getting attacks yet, so... A lot of books. The book spawns are great for us, still. I think we'll probably lose this. Oh, that's a good hit for us. Oh, actually, we're gonna win this because we get the last attack, yeah. Range characters, versus range characters, but... Yeah, remember, always get range characters. I mean, doubling the... we're gonna have a couple spawners, we don't have any supports. I love Mimic, but giving low-level characters 30-30 isn't a big deal if we're not finding low characters. And I don't think we will be. We could get an evil twin of this. I mean, not now, we don't have the money. Here's another 5 we could get. And I think this combos really well. Oh, this is interesting, because it buffs everything +6/+6. But we're not going to stay on this for long, so I think we're going to replace the Crystal Ball. Do we want to Crystal Ball? And then Biggins? I think... This is interesting. I think in Beginning Stone, if we find another Spell Weaver, we'll get... And we can see if we get another spawner with this. You know, basically, this is a little weird, but it does free up a slot for the summoning, so I don't think it's really too bad. I mean, this turn, you know, this isn't exciting, but in the next couple turns we'll be able to fill up the board, hopefully, and hopefully we won't die here. Oh, we're 29 health, so that's usually safe. Oh, they have a tough board for us. We really need to take out this Bastine before it gets going, because we can't compete with these stats, obviously. So far we've got a not great spawns. Oh, this is interesting. If only we had more spells to cast, these Aeons that we got would help buff our Spell Weaver. Okay, the Medusa should take something down, right? It'd be nice if this attacks in, we'll take less damage. Yeah, okay. So this person is pretty strong compared to us. Oh, we did get another Spell Weaver, which is perfect for what we were looking for. This is a nice spawner. What if we grab this thing? And we'll grab the apple next turn, because it combos really well with the Exploding Mittens. I think we want this here, and something like this. And our board's going to be too full a lot of the time, is one of the issues we'll have. Maybe it's time to go something like this. And just get the big ranged attack up early on. Well, we're still at 20, so we can probably lose one more fight. You know, without dying. The apple is pretty good here. It's probably not good as polymorph, but taking a guaranteed apple versus rolling down for a polymorph, I think is a good bet for us. We'd love to triple the pumpkin. That should be in the surprise of no one. We really need these to go off. Give us some buffs. There we go, we get 2 more spellcasts. You can see it's throwing around a lot of buffs. thing about spawns is I think if they spawn in place, you get the attack right on that turn. Okay, so we'll do this. Oh, do we want another one of these? Oh, I think it's too late for the scaling, right? I do love books. I think we just need pumpkins. This is interesting. Next turn, do we want to grab that? If we see a polymorph, I think we'll stop for next turn. This polymorph is very good against them. This is also really nice. This is nice. How do we get there? We sell 2 things, right? Yeah, we can sell 1, 2, and grab it. And I think it's maybe better than the second one. Just like this. I mean, obviously we want to triple this and just have 2 ranged characters in the back. And then some big spawners up front. Or some big, some books, and then, you know, spawners to fill up our front line. And go from there. I wonder if this is better than the pumpkin. The idea is that they'll fill up a similar number of slots, but I think these spawns are usually going to be better. They're summoning, you know, a 2. Well, this should be a 2. You know, this isn't even evil, right? Oh yeah, we should think about that. That not being evil is actually could be a difference maker. So this will die immediately. Oh, well, this got health already? Oh, no. Okay, so taking out that dog makes the mittens are definitely going to be less relevant. Oh well, we hit the same thing. Okay, I think we're at a disadvantage. If this is the last thing that dies, that'd be very nice for us. It looks like we might just have nothing dying, is the issue we're running into. Oh, and it died right there by attacking a very strong character, which we wanted to survive. So we will lose this fight. We won't die. We'll go down to 7 though, so yeah, this is going to be the last fight. Oh, it would be nice to transform something at this point. So we're just looking for polymorphs, really. Oh, this was our last turn. Nothing. Disintegration is okay. I think it works against some of their things. You know, I think we're definitely a heavy underdog. We didn't quite scale fast enough. I wonder if it's best to protect these and just throw this up front. You know, that will lead more evil characters to die. We can... Yeah, more evil characters will die for the first pumpkin spawn, and it protects this a little bit. I don't know if that's super important. You know, in an ideal world, these all die first, and then the pumpkin spawns. I think we're likely to lose this one, but it'd be great if this would take something nice out. Oh, that's not a bad one to take out. Remember, the more things we take out before the good boys die, the better shape we're going to be in. And all we need to do here is cheese 1 victory. So, yeah, as long as there's polymorphs available, as long as there's Medusas available, we always have a shot. That was not great spawns, obviously. So when this dies, it's going to buff nothing. I think we're actually advantaged here. We do need 2 things to be alive, or 1 upgraded character. And I think as long as one of these Medusas attacks, we're in fine shape. Well, if this attacks, we really have like a lot of things that, yeah, they keep killing the Medusas. Oh wow. Okay, I think we won. Wow. Yeah, so you know, spells always give you that out. They really can let you high roll in that way. I don't know if the Embiggening Stone was a good value here, but I did love, you know, getting the double books on Merlin and getting 3 spell weavers. Only one of which got huge. I mean, these are just big because of the 15-15, which I think made it relatively worth it. Although, It's possible. I mean, in the last fight, it's not even clear that these two did anything. It was mostly an attrition game with the mittens and all the, um, all the spawns. So one issue with the Good Boy is that you want to buff its health somewhat, but the problem you can run into is if it stays alive, and especially if it stays alive long enough for your back row to start attacking, then you can end up in a situation where it doesn't actually buff anything. And, Echo Wood for them was in the back row, which is usually the right decision, but it meant that their back row, and, they also had a Cupid, so ranged characters being in the back row aren't as much of a liability. And I think they had a Court Archer, or maybe they had a Court Archer, not a Cupid, and we were able to take the disintegration on the Court Archer, which was pretty lucky. But yeah, as long as they had two good boys, but the big good boy was like, getting plus 100, plus 100 or something from the round table, and maybe a magic sword, or maybe it was just buffed already. But it meant that they couldn't get it to die reliably, which meant it wasn't buffing reliably, which meant the Echo Wood was so small. By the time the good boy died, there was nothing for the good boy it to buff, which meant the Echo Wood got no buffs out of it, which meant that they lost hundreds in stats in a round that ended up being attrition based. So I'm not saying that they did anything wrong. I'm just saying that is one of the challenges with Good Boy, is figuring out the right balance of health. Um, that gives a good buff but also makes it reliably die. And some of it's going to depend on your opponent's comp. We have a small front line. Where highest attack is 40. So they knew that even if we attacked it and attacked us back, it wasn't going to die right away. So that's something to think about when you're playing Good Boy. Try to figure out that balance, see how much you want to buff it. It depends on your other characters. If you have, ranged backline, if you have a front line of like bears that, might stay alive for longer, that's also good. If you have some treasures that allow the Good Boy to, attack in multiple times, like with the sleigh, that's, less likely because you need like a mermaid in the back or something, or you're playing Dracula. But if you have a way to make it reliably die, that changes it. But if you don't, really be cautious. Try to make sure that if you have any non-good characters, maybe they're up front to make sure you reliably get some buffs. It's tough. I mean, positioning in this game. I mean, this is. I bet if you show this to 10 different high-ranked players, they'd all give you 10 different arrangement ideas for how I should do this, and I'm sure throughout the game I've had 15 different arrangements that were all incorrect. So it's a tough part of the game. The toughest part of this game is pivoting into new comps, and I think board positioning, and it really makes a big difference. When people call out RNG in games like this, I think sometimes they overlook how much they could mitigate by just having nice positioning.